Good morning, y'all. It is early morning, Wednesday, and we're already in the kitchen. Today, we are going to be making some pasta salad, homemade pasta pesto. And we're going to be using walnuts. I could use pine nuts because I have a few in the cupboard, but I've just been into this new walnut pesto recipe lately. It's just so much easier to grab a handful of walnuts and not pay $24 for 3 pine nuts. Easier, cheaper, better, faster. So on the elbow pasta, this is what we are preparing. For the rest of the pasta, we just have a small can of sliced green olives, and I'm just in the middle of slicing up some celery, and that will go into the salad with the elbow pasta. And the key ingredient, this is the key ingredient, and y'all, I hate saying it because I didn't grow up with this stuff. I grew up with homemade mayonnaise, believe it or not, and very good Japanese mayonnaise and some other types of mayonnaise that my mother would put together because she was a homemaker, a home economist, and this was considered, I won't say what it was considered because that wouldn't be very nice, but we didn't have it. My husband, however, did grow up with this, and this is what we put in the pasta salad. And y'all, I don't get it. He loves it. He's also got a sweet tooth, and this has sugar in it. In fact, high fructose corn syrup is the 3rd ingredient. So I use this mandolin. This is just a cheapy mandolin to slice the celery. Let me see how you can see this better. There we go. Because it's just so much faster. And that is it. You get the little bits and you get these nice little uniform pieces like that. And you get, you don't have to drag out any kind of chopping board or anything like that. And all you have to do is rinse it off for the next use. So this is going to be put aside for Norman is having his morning Kong. This will be put aside until I can get the pasta cooked. All right, so I have just emptied this pot into the strainer and then into the pot with the celery and the green olives in the pot. And what I'm doing here is I'm letting the hot pasta kind of almost cook a little bit the celery, so that we'll get the most amount of flavor from the celery sort of infusing into all the other ingredients. And then I will come in with the Miracle Whip after the pasta has cooled a little bit. While that pasta is doing its thing, we're gonna start the pesto sauce. I keep my really good Parmesan that I get at Whole Foods in a container like this because it is environmentally friendly and easy, and it's good for the cheese, keeps it nice and airtight. And then what I do is to grate it with this what they call a microplane. Okay, so you can see I've just used a small amount of that cheese, and this is the pile that we have. So this is the other bowl that I'm going to use today for the pesto pasta. And this is just really good for kind of, getting in there and that's the secret to really good pesto pasta, is getting it in a big enough bowl and tossing it. And then once it's tossed, you can put it in another container. You can freeze it. You can put it in the refrigerator. You can freeze the pesto. I know people that do that in bags or in ice cube trays. There's a lot of different things you can do with pesto. It's one of my favorite things to have in the spring and summer because I've got 3 basil bushes growing all the time, and I always have lots and lots of pesto, or basil rather, available to make these recipes. So that cuts down on the cost per meal. So this Okay, so we're finished with the pesto sauce and pasta, and that is in the refrigerator, all chilling for later. Okay, so here we are with the amazing American Miracle Whip. The pasta has cooled down quite a bit, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir and break up any bits that might be stuck together. I think that's good enough. I have to switch spatulas because this one is the one that fits into the jar. Basically, my recipe for these salads, since it came from my mother-in-law, and she didn't have a recipe, she just said, oh, just put a handful of this and a bottle of that. And I was like, okay, so that's how I do it. And you can see this is half full. And that was from the potato salad that I made last week with this. And so whatever is left over, I'm just gonna dump. It's one of those dump type of foods from the 50s. And this is very American 1950s. It's very not spicy. There's not a lot of flavor to this recipe, or to really most of the recipes from the 50s. They're very maraschino cherries, mayonnaise, coconut. I think probably because all of those things were coming out as like hot products. So this Miracle Whip, this is not from the 50s, this is from the 30s. So mayonnaise at that time you had to make it by hand mostly. So this would have been like a real luxury to be able to buy it at that time and to be able to refrigerate it and all of that. So in those days, a lot of times when you made something, you had to serve it to your family and they had to eat it because there wasn't a lot of cold storage, especially in the South. This is so 1950s. I mean, including the little red bits from the green olives, the pimentos. It's not really my taste, but my husband likes it, and I want to give him a food that he loves. He loves these two recipes that his mother gave him growing up, the potato salad and the pasta salad. I think he calls it noodle salad. My husband, he's so American. He's so 1950s American. Yep. So there is your close-up. I know that this one works because this is the one I usually put the pasta in. I try to guide it gently so I don't end up with pasta all over the floor. Oh, did that one go on the floor? Nope. Oh, yay, it went into the container. Okay. Okay, battery died. So, I got an extra lid here. Okay. So, we're back all put together with the fresh battery. All right, so this is going in the fridge. So, pastas, we probably shouldn't eat this much pasta. But you know what? Why not? It's summer, it's hot. It's like the one thing that we can kind of enjoy is cold pasta or warm pasta until autumn arrives. Oh, it's my favorite time of year. Okay, so leftovers, lots of stuff. That is my fridge. Fresh lemons on the bottom because my husband likes lemon in his water. My sin, that's my big sin. I don't have any vices. It's literally like Diet Coke is my vice. I like to keep this full like this. Just makes me feel comforted. put in a comment below, like, what your favorite soda is, if you have a favorite soda. I also like drink mix, like the Crystal Light stuff, because I was born in the 60s and I was a kid in the 70s and a teenager in the 80s. And y'all, Crystal Light was what we drank in the 80s. Like, you know, that was the Valley Girl era, and we had Crystal Light, and that's what we drank. We had Tab. That's what I drank. Tab in high school. That was 0-calorie Tab. It was the precursor to the Diet Coke. All of this is not sponsored, but hey, Diet Coke and whoever owns Miracle Whip, you know, hit me up. Okay, so that is today's cooking with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. Anyone want to do the dishes? I mean, y'all, this is the dish load. Oh my God. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.